What's up, everybody? All right, so the first thing I want to say is Didi's late. Yeah, I was a little bit behind y'all. I wanted to make sure I had everything together. I'm so excited for today's live. I'm so excited. It's not so much about the amount of information I want to share, just the impact of it. If you are able to catch this live, then this is dope. This is really good. Um, First I want to say is please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And I would like to make a request. That request would be, is it safe for us to say that after the Illuminati card game video, is it safe to say that that we can all agree that Trump was not voted into the White House? Can we agree that this has been a part of an orchestrated plan for decades? If you have yet to see that video, I would highly encourage you go and check it out. 100%. Can we agree that it's toxic to push that narrative? Well, in today's video, we're going to be discussing the post that Donald Trump shared and then would later immediately would delete it on Truth Social of him depicting himself as quote unquote Jesus Christ. That's what people said that he depicted himself as. He got a lot of backlash for it. And we're going to get into that. Before we get into that, I want to show you all something. So as of tonight, TPUSA posted this. They says, catch Vice President J.D. Vance and Erika Kirk tonight at the University of Georgia. I want you all to notice something here. Now, I've made, maybe 3 or 4 videos about J.D. Vance, Erika Kirk, what I believe the plans may be for these two individuals. I've also sort of broken down my opinions on J.D. Vance, specifically him. I just believe he is a charlatan. I believe he is, even the way he presents himself to be more masculine than he naturally is. And I think all of it is a role that he plays. I'm not even so sure the man is heterosexual, to be honest with you. So but I want to point out something even more important about this post that a lot of people are probably going to overlook. I want you all to let me move this banner real fast, just so you have no distractions. I want you all to take a look at the way they're very strategic with the way they posted this. And I don't believe any of this is a coincidence, especially with all of the quote unquote rumors and a lot of the things that have been pushed about Erika. Look at the way that they did this. First and foremost, why did they use this photo of Erika? That's very interesting to me. Also, behind Erika is Charlie Kirk. Why is Charlie Kirk's back turned? That's weird. There is no turning point without Charlie Kirk. I think we can all agree with that. So why do you have your husband on this post with his back turned? We can't even see his face. Let's take it a step further. If you look closely, it appears that this red arrow is as if it's pointing from JD Vance to Charlie, as if to say this is the replacement of Charlie. Can you see that? This is a very weird way to construct this poster. You place Erika in front of Charlie with Charlie's back turned as if he's no longer relevant, as if he's in timeout. And then you have JD Vance here with an arrow coming from him pointing to Charlie as if to say he is now in Charlie's place. Am I reaching here, or can that be symbolically interpreted this way? Somebody said it's pointing towards his neck too. I mean, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think that's his neck, but I think that's his back, maybe his shoulder area, but I get your point. Somebody said the symbolism it can be backstabbing. This was very weird. This is a very, very weird way to post this. And I don't know if I don't know what's up with their PR, but if I'm over there at Turning Point USA, unless you're intentionally trying to make people more suspicious or always suspicious, continuously suspicious of Erika Kirk and the rest of the crew, I would suggest that you use like Erika has been a part of so many photo shoots and music videos and all this, that, and the third, and movies. Well, I'm sure she wouldn't mind being a part of another photo shoot of something a bit more professional, right? Like this, I'm not saying this is a horrible picture at all by any means, but it just looks super suggestive to me. That's all. It looks like almost a flirty look when this is supposed to be a professional political organization, you know? Just very odd. Just very odd, you know? So I noticed that and I was like, let me run that by the family and just see what you all think. The next thing is I want to talk about is Caroline Leavitt's White House post. I have to show you all this. So we have to point these things out. So Caroline Leavitt, who is the spokesperson for the Trump administration, you know, the 30-something-year-old woman that's married to the 60-year-old man. I want to show you all this post. So it says here, President Trump just received a McDonald's delivery order from a DoorDash driver outside the Oval Office. Thanks to President Trump signing no tax on tips into law, which I'm very appreciative of that. I actually benefited from that myself. Sharon is using the $11,000 in tips that she has made last year to support her family. How gracious. Let's see if there's some audio here.
That's very nice. Look at this. This doesn't look staged, does it?
They're all your favorites.
He's a good, DoorDash is doing a good job.
We'll
So
try.
the reason for this is the fact that I heard you picked up an extra $11,000 if we did because the tax bill is so big.
How sweet. And he even said it at the beginning. This doesn't look staged at all. And, you know, a little bit of tongue in cheek, a little bit of sarcasm there. But just because he said it does not mean that is not the case. This is 100% staged. And this person talking to Donald Trump is a crisis actor, right? This is 100%. Also, this goes without saying too, or actually maybe it needs to be said. If you're trying to convince me that Donald Trump and all of these billionaires are eating McDonald's, you're gonna have to miss me with the BS. They're not eating that trash. They're not putting that if you want to call that food, they're not putting that. This is marketing. This is propaganda for McDonald's and to just push more agendas, right? People are saying that they're getting late notifications. What I would just recommend is hit the like button and just send this video. Y'all already know what's going on with my channel, man. Like, we've been here, we've done this. It's just, you know, it's really not much I can do at this point. So, but this person that is talking to Trump, I want to show y'all who this person is. This person is a crisis actor. What you're looking at here are two, like these two photos is the same person. The one on the bottom is the person that just supposedly happened to save $11,000 in tips this past year and got to deliver some McDonald's DoorDash to the White House. Well, the person up top is quote unquote Miss Simmons from a completely different situation that took place in this country. Don't want to get too much into that and get the video flagged. All she did here was she changed her hair color, but you can clearly see, let me move the banner again. This person has the same tattoos. Y'all, this is the same person. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This is a crisis actor. This is wild. Yeah, I stopped eating McDonald's years and years ago. Somebody said $11,000 in a year DoorDash, and yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. This is all propaganda. This person is an actor, right, for the Trump administration. So, for those of you that are not familiar, let's get into the topic of today's discussion. A couple of days ago, Donald Trump would post to Truth Social this post here, which is, I mean, it's pretty straightforward what it is for many people. And now that I think about it, let me go ahead and save this while I'm thinking about it. Hold on one sec. I'm going to let y'all look at that for just a second. Okay. Okay, sure. And I'm going to get this picture so I can show you all this side by side. All righty, let's see if I'm able to pull this up. Bro, I do this for a living. This is so funny that it always does this. It never fails. It never fails, bro. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Where is it at? So the first thing about this post that people were upset about, dude, really, is they were saying that let me see. Oh my God. Cannot make this up. Oh my God. I just want y'all to act right when I go live, man. I want this computer. I just wanted to just act right. Behave. So annoying. Okay. So obviously a lot of people were upset about this because they said that this was blasphemous, right? It was making him appear as if he was Jesus Christ, which I want to just state for the record. This just goes to show the propaganda because they see a white man in a robe, with a light shining from him, shining behind him, and they think Jesus Christ, even, which means that a lot of people view Jesus Christ as this white hair, blue eyes, blonde person that the scriptures give us no reason to believe that Jesus Christ looked anything like that, right? Not that we should ever care, but this is actually not Donald Trump positioning himself as Jesus Christ. But before we get into that, I want you to notice behind Trump. What is that up there in the very center? I'll speak for myself when I say that this just reminds me personally of the Baphomet. The shape of it is similar to this. You see the Baphomet's head shape here with the horns, right? The shape of the goat's head is almost like an upside down triangle, right? It gets thinner to the base, almost like a 90-degree, like a 30-degree angle. And it spreads a lot wider heading up towards going out to the ears. That's what that reminds me of, that middle image right there for Donald Trump. Y'all see what I'm saying? Also, something else I noticed about this post is the person that Trump is allegedly healing. To me, I'll speak for myself. That person looks a lot like Epstein. And once you see it, it's kind of hard to unsee it. Of all the images they could have used, they decided to do someone that has a very similar phenotype to Jeffrey Epstein. Do you all think that's a coincidence? No. There's a lot of images you could have used. You use somebody that looks similar to Epstein. Almost as if to say this is him healing or protecting the Epstein class, right? So, anyways, Donald Trump would actually go on to remove that post. He deleted it, and he was actually questioned about the post. And I want you all to first take a listen to what he said about the post.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000. I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
Yes, sir.
this goes a long way.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
Okay, so first of all, it's extremely hilarious to hear him say, how could anybody get Jesus Christ from this picture? He does not understand how a person can look at his post with him in a robe appearing to heal someone with the light shining behind him from the clouds. He doesn't understand, with these people looking up to him as if he's this huge figure. He doesn't understand how people can look at this and depict this. It's laughable. It's like, you, even if you meant to post it as something else, you can clearly look at this and say, okay, I see how people can see that. He says that he doesn't even understand it. This is a joke. This is clearly a joke. But let's take it a step further. He says that he was portraying himself as a doctor. What? Huh? A doctor. You don't have on any medical gear. You're not in the hospital room. There's no nurses around you. You're not inside of a hospital. What are you talking about here, man? All right. So we just heard Trump clearly say that he was depicting himself as a doctor, because they're usually not in alignment and they contradict themselves often. Let's take a listen to what the vice president had to say.
Pope Leo has expressed problems with the war in Iran, says that we should be peacemakers, been very vocal. The president took to Truth Social saying Leo should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be Pope, was only put there because the church, because he was an American, they thought he would be good, best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. Just wondering, as a Catholic, how you consider this Truth Social post, and then the post of the picture, which a lot of people took as the president posting a picture of himself as Jesus. He later said that he posted it as thinking as a doctor saving people.
I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one.
But it really caused a kerfuffle, Mr. Vice President. I'm just wondering what you make of all of this, and whether it's what you think of this back and forth with the church.
Well, first of all, Brett, I think the president was posting a joke, and of course he took it down because he recognized that a lot of people weren't understanding his humor in that case. I think the president of the United States likes to mix it up on social media, and I actually think that's one of the good things about this president, is that he's not filtered. He doesn't send everything through a communications professional. He actually reaches out directly to the people.
Hold on, bro, hold on. JD Vance is one of the biggest obvious psyops in political history. I mean, I literally just see right through the guy. It has nothing to do with politics. I just look at him and I say, okay, they have him going with the beard. They shaped him up. They slimmed him down. They've literally packaged and rebranded this guy. He's changed his name so many times, for those of you that don't know, so that he can fit into this pocket of what a politician, an American man, the quintessential white American man is supposed to look like. He's rebranded himself as that. He used to hate Trump, and now Trump is doing something that Trump has always done, which is not a good thing for a president to be doing, bypassing overstepping a communications team, right? Where they can filter and help you with these sorts of deals. You're saying that's a good thing, though. You're trying to convince us that this is a good thing. And then he said something that actually contradicts Trump, as if we're not going to notice that you just contradicted Trump. You said that Donald Trump posted this as a joke, but the American people didn't see it that way. Donald Trump didn't say he posted it as a joke. Donald Trump said that he was depicting himself as a doctor, which literally makes no sense. But you already know that. This is called damage control. And this is just surface level. All right? And I want to show you all a funny response that somebody gave to this post. Let me show it to you. I thought this was hilarious, man. I thought this was freaking hilarious. Let's see here. Where is it at? Someone said, how did people not know this was Trump as a doctor? Number one, there's a hospital in the background. Number two, he has one of those lights the doctor sticks in your ear. Number three, he's checking the patient's fever. His nurse is below him. There's a patient with 6 fingers. He's wearing a doctor's gown. He has a blanket on his shoulder to warm up the patient. Everyone's looking up at him because they're sitting in the chairs in the operating room. And obviously this is sarcasm. There's none of that in this post. This is, laughable. Absolutely laughable. Laughable. That's so funny. So let's actually, before I get into what this post was really about, let me show you all a post from, her name is Allie Beth Stuckey. A lot of you all are going to know who she is. She's a female in the conservative space. I want to show you all what she said. Allie Beth Stuckey. So she posted, where is it at? Let me find it. Here she says, I do believe that he didn't think of this as a depiction of Jesus when posting. Still, there has to be more care and discernment here. You don't think he was, what do you think he was doing then? You think he thought it was a doctor for real, Allie Beth? I responded, and Candace responded too and said, come on, Allie, enough. So I responded and I said, Allie, really? He thought he was a doctor in a robe with a light shining behind him from the clouds, healing someone? What doctor in history has ever been depicted this way? Jesus Christ. Stop lying and making excuses for him. Part of the reason I wanted to show you all this is because her response is actually very similar to other people's response. The guy, Graham Allen, had literally an almost identical response. Here, let me show you. Let me go to it. I'm going to show it to you. Let me show you all what I'm looking at here. So right here I go, so interesting how similar the wording continues to be coming from you Shields. It's almost as if it's inorganic. Allie Beth Stuckey, she says, I do believe he didn't think of this as a depiction of Jesus when posted. Still, there has to be more care and discernment here. David Harris Jr. says the same thing. I don't believe President Trump intended to depict himself as Jesus when he posted it. He is a believer after all. No, he isn't. I do appreciate that he deleted it since it's something President Trump has really done. Discernment is learned, not always automatic. And then the guy, Graham Allen, which I don't have it here, but he also said the same thing. Right? This girl here, her name is Caitlin Bennett. She has a YouTube channel where she goes out and she interviews. She has a lot of She does a lot of rage bait content where she interviews a lot of people on the left, and a lot of them are contradicting themselves. You know, I don't agree with their politics myself either. But anyways, a lot of content that I've supported. But when I say the biggest shield, this woman is the biggest shield, bro. It's like all of these people have been placed in position, and that's the reason they're able to thrive. That's the reason they're able to get so many views. That's the reason they have so many followers, because in that position, they have to hold up their end of the bargain, which is to constantly simp and make excuses for these people. I'm going to say this bluntly because I think a lot of people, this is what she said. I'm going to say this bluntly because I think a lot of people need a reality check right now. Everyone mad at Trump needs to zoom out for 2 seconds and realize what's actually on the line here. And don't have to blindly defend anyone. Criticism is fair when it's earned, and Trump has earned criticism. But I'm not going to let Trump's mean tweets, even when they are problematic or in poor taste, distract me from the bigger picture. There is a massive difference between holding someone accountable and completely abandoning the mission, because the alternative to Trump would mean a fundamental change of the country for the worse. Think about what the Democrats are pushing right now: mass amnesty, demographic change, opening the borders, violence in every city, federal abortion on demand, gun control, hatred of America, the nuclear family, and Christianity, gender confusion, castration of children, LGBTQ ideology in the schools. And she's absolutely right with a lot of that. I don't know if I agree with some of the stuff in the very beginning. I don't know if they're necessarily pushing that, but she's pushing this left versus right nonsense, right? I responded to her. I said, silence, you shield. Stick to street interviews with blue hair leftists. Your gaslighting disgusts me. All right. But let's get to the bigger thing here. What is this post by Trump really about? Because it's not about Jesus Christ at all. If you all remember, I made a video. A lot of you all are going to remember this, and I've seen some people in the comment section in the live chat already referencing it. 8 months ago, I made a video called Trump the Dark Magician, the hidden meaning of his presidency. I would highly encourage you to go and watch this video. This is one of the most powerful videos I've ever dropped on this channel. It's a 32-minute video. I promise you it's worth it. That video was heavily shadow banned when I posted it. And once you watch it, you'll quickly understand why. Well, the thumbnail of this video, in the very far left corner, you see this yellow background with this person wearing this red and white robe. Well, let's make that a little bit closer so you can understand what this is. This is why I called Trump, even in the Illuminati card game video, the Dark Magician, because that is the role that the Dark Magician is playing, right? Now, does it make sense? It's literally the exact same outfit. In that video from 8 months ago, this is the card we talked about. Part of the reason we talked about this card, let me move this banner. Part of the reason we talked about this card was because a woman by the name of Sabrina Abramovich, who is a witch, quite literally, she actually gave us her thoughts on Donald Trump. Sabrina Abramovich is one of those people who is doing rituals out in the open with people like Jay-Z, right? She's connected to a lot of parties where they make cakes that look like bodies, human bodies in blood, right? There's photos out there, there's pictures out there, and videos out there of her parties. I can't show them on YouTube, even though they're cakes, but it's extremely disgusting. But I want you all to take a listen to what she had to say about who Donald Trump is and the role that he's playing.
It's the best thing happened ever to us, because she believed, not her, but the entire population of this Nordic magician,
Uh-huh.
that he is the magician of the highest order, that he is there in his irrational mind to create confusion in order that the human being can find new order. And it's not so stupid thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things upside down.
Uh-huh.
Because since Trump is around, things are changing.
And I actually misspoke. Her first name is not Sabrina. It's Maria Abramovich. Maria Abramovich. You all heard what she said out of her own mouth. Do your homework on her. We've talked about her many times over the years on this channel. This is definitely a witch that participates in occultism. And I've said before, I've been saying Donald Trump is not a Christian. That's not a hot take. I'm going to go a step further to something that may be a hot take. Donald Trump is an occultist, allegedly, that he practiced the occult. I believe he practices dark magic, and that shouldn't come as a shock to a lot of you all at all. That does not mean that he can't do some things that we deem to be good. That's not what that means at all. You understand? It's not what that means at all. Right? This is the magician. Right? There's something, this right here, for those of you that don't know, it's the tarot card, right? And this card right here in particular is called the Magician Tarot card. Now we're going to go somewhere and read what this card is about. And I'm going to tell you why the post that Donald Trump posted, or why that he uploaded and then will later delete, the purpose of him posting it when he did. It's not a coincidence that he's in red and white, right? But we like to read over here. So let's go. Let me take you all over here, and we're going to read this together about the definition and the meaning behind the Magician Tarot card. All right. Boom. So it says the Magician Tarot card. The Magician Tarot card meanings. All right. There's the card there. All right. As above, so below. You see that one hand up in the air, one hand down. That's as above, so below, which is, once again, the Baphomet. That's Freemasonry, duality. We see the pentagram here on the table, but let's and it says magician at the bottom. Let's read a little bit about this card. This is extremely important, and it's going to explain, help you understand why Trump posted what he did. It says the Magician Tarot card represents manifestation and turning ideas into reality. He is the first archetype the Fool encounters in the major arcana or arcana. And he brings the message. You already have everything you need to begin. Now is the time to take focused action. On the card, the magician stands at an altar, surrounded by the four suits of the minor arcana: the wand, cup, sword, and pentacle. Every symbol on this card speaks to creative force, alignment, and personal power. These items, for instance, are used regularly in witchcraft and magic, and represent the elements fire, water, air, and earth. The magician points his right arm and hand towards the sky, and his left towards the earth, embodying the Hermetic principle: as above, so below. All right, gonna read that again. The magician points his right arm and hand towards the sky, and which Trump was in the sky, by the way, and his left towards the earth, which that can, from the picture that Trump posted, and I'll bring it back up here in a moment. The people, to me, how I interpret this, the people are from earth. Trump is in the sky. That's as above, so below, there alone, right? Embodying the Hermetic principle: as above, so below. Above his head is the infinity symbol, signifying limitless potential. You'll see this again on the strength card. He also wears a white gown for spirituality and a red cloak symbolizing will. All of this represents his connection between the spiritual and material worlds, and his ability to take an idea and manifest it into reality. All right. So the magician keywords, upright keywords is manifestation, possibility, willpower, skill, personal power. Reverse keywords, manipulation, scattered energy, illusion, misuse of power, self-doubt. Keep that in mind. We're going to come back to that. So the magician, right? Here's the card here. All right. It says upright. This stands for manifestation, personal power, skill, resourceful, infinite potential. But when it's reversed, it means not using the talent, not using your talent, ignoring your potential, manipulation, getting in own's way, trickery. Why is this important with this card? We're going to come back to that in just a moment. Upright magician tarot card meaning. The magician arrives in a tarot reading when it's time for you to act. You took the leap with the fool and gathered the tools of knowledge, resources, and intuition. Now you're ready to bring your vision into form. This card is all about focused manifestation and using what you already have to create what you want. Okay? This is not a time for passive wishing. The magician encourages you to align your thoughts, words, and actions with your intention. The universe will meet you halfway, but you must take the first step. Okay? Career and finances. Career-wise, the magician suggests a powerful time for creative pursuits, launching new ideas, showcasing your talent, or stepping into leadership. You have the tools. Now show the world what you can do. This is a card of visibility and influence, right? But the reverse magician tarot card meaning is when the magician appears reversed. It often indicates either you're not using your power or you're using it for self-sabotage or in an ineffective way. It also can indicate a lack of focus, scattered energy, and self-doubt in your abilities. The reversal can also point to manipulation either by you or someone else. Why is this important? Well, I'm going to show you why this is extremely important if I want to act right. All right, so this is important because I have reason to believe that Donald Trump, as I just said, practices dark magic. And one could even go as far to say Satanism. What does, quote unquote, the devil, what does, quote unquote, Satan like to do with anything that is of God? He likes to do the opposite. He likes to flip it upside down, right? So if this card, as we have already established from the reading that we just read, if it typically means or stands for manifestation, personal power, skill, resourcefulness, or infinite potential, when you flip it, right? When you take something and you do the opposite or you reverse it, right? Not to say so that this is not misconstrued. I'm not saying that this card in its original state is of God. But what I'm stating is what you're supposed to be doing in an upright sense, you are reversing that. And so that results and I want to make sure you all can see it as I read it. And once again, and you not using your talent and you ignoring potential, manipulating people, getting in one's own way, trickery, right? Or as it says here, self-sabotage, which many people, when they look at Trump's behavior since he's been back in the White House, that's exactly what's been taking place. Self-sabotage, right? Being ineffective in many ways, confusion, scattered energy, a lack of focus, self-doubt in your abilities. Okay? So that's what this picture here is about. It's not Jesus Christ. It's the magician. It's Trump showing you that he is indeed the dark magician. All right? Just like we discussed in this video here 8 months ago in the bottom left corner. And this here helps us understand even more so, right? It says Major Arcana, the magician reversed, which would stand for being ungrounded, having the tools, skills needed, but not using them effectively. A lack of communication through Mercury, struggling to manifest desired potential, right? Missing a piece of the puzzle, not using talent to the best of their ability, half-heartedness, laziness, or unmotivation to manifest the desired objective, craftiness, manipulation of others, talent not being used, not connected to the elements, right? As Maria Abramovich stated before. So that's what this is about. It's not about, he thinks he's God. He thinks he's bigger than God. He thinks he's big enough to place himself on the same level as God. No. And as we know, magician comes out in gematria to the number 33. As we've established that many times already over on this channel. So now can people see what's going on here? Now take everything that we just established, everything we just read, and couple those things with the information shared from the Illuminati card game. Now, do you understand why I can confidently say 8 months ago that the things that Donald Trump is doing is not going to stop? He's only going to continue to do it because that's the role that he's playing. Right? Yeah, exactly. So that's what this was about. It's something else I want to state here openly. I'm not so sure. You all are free to believe what you want. I'm just telling you what my thoughts are. I'm not so convinced. Man, I want to be careful. I don't want to be reckless with my words, man. There's a good chance that Donald Trump may be our last president. There's a good chance he may be our last president. I'm not saying that as an absolute. I'm not saying that as a fact. I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying there's a good chance. I was speaking to a friend a couple of days ago, and I'm going to tell you all what I told him. And he may be watching this video. In my lifetime, I'm 31. In my lifetime, I don't know if we've ever been in this position before. This is the most unique position we've ever been in before. When Barack Obama was elected, I remember, a lot of you all don't know this story. I actually went to Washington, D.C. One of the first times I've ever left the state of Arkansas. And it was to go to Washington, D.C. And long story short, I actually got out there and I was lost. I got lost. In 2007, I was what? Man, I was like 12, right? 12? Yeah, so 2010 was, let me do the math, was 16 years ago. 16 years ago, I'll be like 15. Yeah, I was like 12 years old. And I actually got lost in Washington, D.C. I got lost for like 9 hours, something crazy. I got lost that morning because they were fearful that somebody was going to try to pow Barack Obama. He actually, the original place he was supposed to speak, they actually changed it. So I actually didn't get to actually lay eyes on Barack Obama. I remember how polarizing it was for Barack Obama to get elected. A lot of people thought that the country would never get to a place where we'd see a colored person, right, a black man in office. And obviously on the other side, post his presidency, we can clearly see that was a psyop. But I mentioned him to say, even that time was not like this. Trump is serving a completely unique role in the White House because he was in the White House once, would go on to lose, but then get reelected after the fact, which is like, I would imagine that's very hard to do. And Trump is polarizing for every reason but his skin color. It's because of his behavior. If you're on the left, it's because of his politics, his policies. But Trump and the things that surround Trump is completely different, bro. The energy in the world right now is completely different. It wasn't anything like this with Trump, with Obama. It wasn't anything like this with Biden. And it wasn't anything like this with Bush. And that says a lot because some things happened under Bush. For Trump to get elected, January 6th to take place, then COVID comes. A lot of people forget the Kobe Bryant thing happened, which was major news. I know it's sports related, but a lot of those things are intertwined. But that may be a Patreon discussion. I just don't know where the country goes from here. Right? Like every other president, what I was talking to my buddy about, I was saying, we were saying, every other president of my lifetime, we could almost have an idea who might get elected next. You know what I mean? Either we already knew the person, they were coming up in the ranks. But Trump is like the first non-traditional or non-traditional president that we've had in a while. Coming from the entertainment industry. Who comes after Trump? Because after what he's done already and what he's been doing, J.D. Vance doesn't have a shot. He doesn't have a cold in hell. Right? He doesn't have a shot. So if it's not J.D. Vance, who is much more well-spoken, much more professional, much more of a people's pleaser than Trump is, that being J.D. Vance. If that man was to get elected, they would have to pull off some sort of huge psyop, Hegelian dialectic psyop to get people rallying behind J.D. Vance. Because what Trump has done, I mean, they're out of there. They're going to lose. I imagine they're going to lose the midterms. And J.D. Vance can start thinking about something else. The Peter Thiel experiment has failed. That being J.D. Vance. The Palantir Peter Thiel project experiment thingamajiggy that being J.D. Vance has failed. There's no way he gets into the White House as president at this point. So who comes behind J.D. Vance that we know of? The Democrats did such a horrible job. There's no way. And even if it was the Democrats, who do they have? Kamala Harris, stop it. She's not competent enough. Stop it. She's not going to be able to word salad her way even close to enough to sniff a primary. All right? The only thing I can see is if something happened to Trump while he's in office. He does his dirt, he finishes out his role, and then something happened, God forbid. Something happened, and then they move J.D. Vance into that position. That's the only way I can see this. Other than that, who? Because even if the to my point that I was getting at, even if the Democrats were to gain some sort of momentum back, who would be their person? Right? AOC? All right, Jasmine Crockett? Who? Those people wouldn't work. Half the country, more than half the country, hate those two people. So who would it be? And because of that reason, I'm saying this is, I don't like to scare people or fearmonger people, but this is one of the oddest moments in my lifetime. In my lifetime. And with the stuff that we've been discussing on Patreon, about how empires typically end after 250 years, and how Trump's behavior is, it makes perfect sense what he's doing. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He is the agent of chaos. He is the president of confusion, as you heard Maria Abramovich say herself as well. If she digs, if she practices in the occult, and she's saying this, I think we have good reason to believe that she may be on to something. She's probably seen these things a time or two. So yeah, man. I'm not so sure the direction the country is in the next year and a half, 2 years, to be honest with you. I think they have big plans. And that's really how I want to end this video. I think they have big plans. So, yeah, man. Anyways, shout out to Doug. Thank you for the $2 super chat. What are the cards in the deck haven't been played? So to be clear, I want to make sure I say this. That card that I just read is not from the Illuminati card game. It's from it's a tarot card, right? But that's a great question. What other cards in the deck haven't been played? I'm not sure. Doug, I actually don't know the answer to that, man. That's a good question. Coco, thank you for the $6 super chat. It's obvious to me that Donald Trump's bosses are posting these and making him explain them so he looks like an idiot. I agree. Totally. Portraying himself as a doctor. Like, come on, man. Who believes that? Who believes that? Mickey, that's a name I haven't seen in a long time, man. What's up? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Hope you and the family are well, by the way. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Great to catch you live again, bro. I've been so busy with my kiddos. Yep. But their mother has them tonight. Share everywhere, y'all. Every platform. Dang, that's dope. Good to see you again, man. Like I said, I hope the kids are good. I still remember every time I see your name, I think of the photo that you sent me with the merch. You was wearing the merch. That was super dope. I think your kids was wearing the merch with you, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was just you. But that's dope, bro. Really good to see you, man. I hope everyone has a safe place to go and a plan for what to do when stuff hits the fan. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I agree. And again, I hate to because some people can handle it. Some people can hear this stuff and freak out. But if you believe in God and you prayed up and you live in the way you're supposed to, just get your house in order. And that's a message to myself as well. I just think things are going to get so interesting here in the next year. I do. Because again, Trump was supposed to have a term, sort of a recess for 4 years, and then he's supposed to be back in the White House for this term, for these years. It's part of the plan. I just don't know what's next. The war with Iran is taking place the way that they want it. They always want it. Cecilia, thank you for the $5 super chat. I emailed you yesterday, and I believe I have the answers on who is the next president. Have something that will blow your mind, but it's prophecy. Okay. What's your email name? What's your email name? I get so many emails, y'all, that I don't see. I don't get to read a lot of them. But if you tell me the name of your email, for sure I'll try to remember to check it out. We can't predict it all. What's next? We got to trust Jesus only. Yeah, man. For sure. So I said Tucker Carlson will be the next. I don't think according to him, he's not interested. But all I would say to people is, even if you believe in voting, just be aware of something. And Trump is the biggest example. We had examples before Trump, but he is like the biggest example, relevant, recent example. And maybe this is just recency bias. Think about all the people that believed in Trump. He gave them good reason to believe in him. And look what he did once he got into the office. My point is, whoever you think is raging against Trump right now on the conservative side, like a Tucker Carlson, and in my Tucker Carlson Joe King video, what I said is, be careful with the Tucker Carlson psyop, because he's saying all the right things right now, that being Tucker Carlson. Got to hand it to him. He's saying all the right things, just like Trump was. Yeah, man. Playing his role too. That's my thoughts about Tucker. Yeah. They're trying to tank the financial system, create a crisis, bring in central bank digital currency. I agree. I think that's what's happening. My buddy was actually telling me that as well. That's what he believes is going on. Oh, wow. That actually, I'm so glad you said that. If y'all stuck around, I got a treat for you. I'm going to find this video real quick. I want to play this video for you all. As they say, don't ever say I ain't did nothing for you. No, I'm joking. I want to show you all this video of this lady talking about the financial system. Everything in this video is alleged. Feel free to believe what you want. Don't believe what you want. Take from it whatever you choose. But this is definitely something that we need to listen to. I'm finding this video. You can believe that. And I got to be close for sure. And I think on my next video is going to be about the show. I got to talk about the show that Sydney Sweeney is on. I got to talk about that show. Some lot of stuff going on with that. So give me 1 sec. I'm scrolling, y'all. Like, I got to find it. Got to find it. Actually, I'm going to play this one too. I'm going to play both of them. Take a listen to this. I'm so interested to hear what y'all going to say about this. This is not something I would normally play on YouTube.
Believe you me, after Trump, America is finished. It's not about Trump. I don't know the man. And I'm getting no benefits out of this anyway. Believe you me, I've never seen him. I've seen him on YouTube, whatever, here and there, bits and pieces. But I don't know him. But I'm telling you, Trump is the last one. Because after the trumpet will be blown. You know why America is going to fall? Which is the United Nations, yeah? 2 reasons. Because America is challenging God at the moment. It's challenging the Lord. It's going to fall for 2 reasons. One, internally. The other reason is externally. The internal reason, there will be traitors within America. There are traitors within the White House. There are traitors within the Pentagon. There are traitors within the governmental system, traitors who have sold America. And the reason why these traitors came up on surface, because America walked away from the Lord. The Lord allowed them to be punished, to teach them that I'm in charge, not you. You think you can rule the world? It is the Lord who rules the world, not you. So when you challenge me, I will allow infiltrators from within your circle to come and do wondrous things, destroy America. A lot of traitors are within America. And the external reason, it is the wrath of God. Jesus Christ will come very heavily on America. The wrath of God. But internally, there is a lot of traitors. They literally sold it. You'll remember this. The day America goes, remember what's going to happen to the Christians. Very harsh. Very harsh. But the problem with America, it will take the rest of the world with it when it goes down.
I thought that was interesting. And it sort of aligns with some of the things that I've already been thinking. And I've been looking at a lot of these things as well. But I have to find, here it is. Here it is. I thought I was going to say, man, I don't know if I'll be able to find this video, bro. I found it. I want you all to take a listen to this. This would be one of the most powerful videos I've ever shared on this channel before.
The headline.
Listen to this lady. It's about a 4-minute clip, but I promise you it's worth it.
All right, now sit down for a minute, because see this right here? This ain't just another headline that you want to scroll past. What's happening around the Strait of Hormuz? See, that's not random. That's pressure. And Iran knows exactly what it's doing. They're basically saying if oil moves through here, it's not going to be paid for in US dollars anymore. It's going to be paid in Chinese yuan. Now listen, that might sound like small talk to some folks, but it's not. It's a big deal. And here's the part that they don't explain to regular Joe Blow folks like me and you. Because if they did, we would start asking better questions than we're asking, right? The United States dollar didn't just become the world's main currency because everybody admired America. No, ma'am, no, sir. That was arranged. Back in 1971, Nixon printed more money than the gold we could support, mostly to pay for the Vietnam War. So he cut the dollar loose from gold completely. Now that created a problem, because if your money isn't backed by gold anymore, why should the world keep trusting it? So in 1974, same year I came out of high school, the United States made a deal with Saudi Arabia. You sell your oil in US dollars and we'll protect you militarily. And just like that, the system was set, okay? After that, every country that needed oil had to get dollars first. And that's what kept the United States dollar on top. It wasn't just strong, it was necessary. Now bring it back to what's happening today. The Strait of Hormuz is where about 20% of the world's oil passes through every single day. So when that gets disrupted, it doesn't stay over there. It hits everybody. Now Iran is saying, we'll sell the oil, but not in dollars. That right there, that's not a small change. That is a direct hit to the system that's been running for over 50 years. Because now countries like China, India, Japan, South Korea, the ones buying that oil, they don't need dollars the same way anymore. And if they don't need dollars, they stop holding as many. They stop buying as many. They start shifting to other currencies. Got that? And once that starts happening, the whole system starts to crack. Now, here's where it gets real. The United States is already deep in debt. And right now, we're paying more in interest on that debt than we are on military. Let that sink in. This year alone, the government has to refinance trillions of dollars. So if interest rates go up even a little, that cost's going to go through the roof. It's going to explode. The only reason we've been able to carry that kind of debt is because the world kept needing dollars for oil. See, that was the trick, right? But if oil doesn't require dollars anymore, that demand weakens. And when that demand weakens, everything starts to shift. So no, this isn't just about conflict. This isn't just about politics. This is about money, power, control. This is a financial fight. And if we're being honest, the United States don't look so ready for what's about to come next.
Yeah. Breaking news, everybody. So the event that happened that was supposed to be happening tonight with Turning Point USA that we spoke about at the beginning, well, apparently it just got canceled. Here, let me share my screen. And it's causing a lot of noise, a lot of issues. A lot of issues. Hold on, let me go to it. So apparently Erika Kirk has stated that she's received some threats to her life and she decided to cancel the event. But people are saying that it's because it was because of bad ticket sales. Here, let me go to it. We're going to look at this together, y'all. This is crazy as heck. So this is the event. Turning Point USA seems to have misestimated crowd size for Vance. Atkins Ford Arena less than 25% filled for the vice president.
Bother me when he speaks on issues today.
What in the world?
Frankly, even when I disagree with how he's applying the
Dude, nobody's there. Nobody's there.
It doesn't bother me when he speaks on issues today. Frankly, even when I disagree with how he's applying the Chico principle. So the most obvious example is a little bit. It doesn't bother.
But it gets worse, y'all. It gets way worse. So Erika Kirk posts, I was so looking forward to tonight's event at the University of Georgia with our vice president, but after all our family has been through, I take my security team's recommendation extremely seriously. Thank you to our amazing Georgia chapter for your support. God bless you all. Fox News here says Erika Kirk is skipping an event with Vice President J.D. Vance due to some, quote, some very serious threats in her direction, TPUSA says. Candace just got a hold of this and she said, stop. This is exhausting. You pulled out because of bad ticket sales. For the same reason TP Faith had to reschedule the Pastor's Summit and various other events quietly. People don't believe you and don't line up for you because you struggle to tell the truth about even the most basic facts. Where's the video of Charlie appointing you as CEO weeks before his death? The Secret Service sits above your security team, where they're actually a viable threat. Where the Secret Service sits above your security team, where they're actually a viable threat, the vice president would not have continued the event. Your closest threats is the SHIT public relations team you hired that continues to operate under the delusion that they are smarter than the public. They aren't. What the world? Blake Neff says evil, wretched people out here. Like nobody believes you, bro. This woman says BS, low ticket sales, and her mountain of lies made her stay home. Who getting past the Secret Service? Y'all keep thinking the public is stupid. So Charlie wants his wife to have a job this dangerous? Wait, so I thought her and Charlie said they never live in fear. That's why she let him go amidst threats while she stayed behind. So many lies. This is Charlie haunting y'all, and he won't stop. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. There will not be another right versus left. There will be one. I study history and biblical eschatology. Email me. We don't have much time left, Didi. I actually believe you're right about that. I don't think we have much time left. Great stream, bro. Here's a tip. Research Pax Dacia. Thank you for the $5. Okay, I'll look into it. Dacia. Dang, that's crazy. All right, for sure. All right, y'all. I'm hop up off here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you want to support me in other ways, link is in the description to the merch store. You can find this shirt. And I have a lot of other creative things. I have a new design that I'm working on that should be out here in the next week or so. I'll keep you all updated with that. Link is also in the description to the Patreon if you want to support me that way too. And that's you have access to extended and uncensored videos that you cannot find here on YouTube. With that, man, I'm going to log off and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace. Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate at UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that is better than yours. Dr. Just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright. No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to me. Now let's start going. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people or the rich white Jews that own these record labels because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you? Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.